Okay, so the first thing we did, I'm going to kind of go over everything we did while I met with her.
Okay.
The first thing we did was I did some assessments. I looked at her reading level, her motivational level, and her spelling. And her reading level, we did, let me pull up the passages. She did some word lists for me. She read words. Let me show you what those words look like. So she started here at the post preschool and moved up. And these, the check marks marked what she got right, and the X marks what she got wrong. She basically started off she did well up until the first grade level, reading the words. So that put her at, when I started doing her passages that she read, I started one below, which was preschool. I have one above. So she read this little poem for me, and she was able to answer comprehension questions. And there's a few words that she either omitted or that she added. So that was preschool. Then she did the story. She loved this story because it was about a kitten. So, of course. So she read this story to me, and she was able to answer comprehension questions and to kind of tell me the story back to herself. Same thing. Instead of saying kitten, she would say kitty. Just things like that. Or instead of saying kitten, she said cats. So she just kind of put some, not really miscues, but like filled in.
And this is when she was saying it back to you? Or
as she was reading.
So like instead of reading kitten, she said cats.
Exactly. It just happens because she probably had an idea of what it was already about, and so that's why she just said that. So she may not have even read the words. She may have just
mental visualization is like really strong.
Yeah, I would say so. And then this is second grade, the Song of Little Frog. Same thing. She read it pretty well and she answered the comprehension, but same thing. She either omitted words, like instead of saying in, she said on. Instead of saying sing or sang, she said singed. Things like that. So what I did based on the scoring, I gave her preschool was her independent level. She's fine. She can definitely read preschool level just fine. Her instructional level, like where she should be taught at, it was probably like about first grade level. Her frustrational level was second grade, which means that some of the stuff probably in this past year she was reading were probably very hard for her to read. So that was for her reading. Motivational, I gave her this elementary reading attitude survey. The first half talks about like how she sees like recreational reading. The second half talks about like academic reading. So kind of like if she circled the first one she was really happy about it. Second one was kind of happy. Third one was she was a little bit angry, and the last one was that she was very angry. So I just asked her several questions.
What were these again?
Okay, so this is recreational and then academic.
Okay.
So recreational, I think she wants to like to read, if that makes sense. She wants to like to. Like she said that,
She's always reading, meaning she is always in books.
Yeah. Like, and there's one about how do you feel about...
One of the new girls kind of went a little bit, so I'm going to have them really make it. The food kind of got over toasted, so I just want to let you know that we're going to really make it right now. I'm sorry about that.
No, don't even worry about it.
So, like, how do you feel about getting a book for a present? She likes that idea. But when you say, how do you feel about reading at school during free time? She doesn't like that idea. So, from what...
That's more because she's having a hard
She can't, yeah, or she's just having a hard time. She's probably reading things that I know that are reading. I think what may be happening is she's reading things at a different level. She needs to be reading at a lower level, but sometimes what happens is that if the kids start to notice or things like that, she may get picked on, because she talked a little bit about that with me.
Yeah, she's been talking about it with me.
So academic, same thing. How do you feel when you want to read different kinds of books? Or how about this? How do you feel when a teacher asks you questions about why you read? She liked that idea. Okay, but she doesn't like working in workbooks and worksheets. Most kids don't.
Well, not if you're struggling.
Yeah, or how do you feel about reading books at school? She didn't like it. Okay, but how do you feel when it's time for reading a class? She liked the idea. So I think, like I was saying, I think she likes the idea of reading. She wants to be a good reader, but she's struggling. She just hasn't, she needs to find her level.
And she is like, now it's moving.
Yeah.
Like she's here. and
Exactly. But that intervention, if she gets into like an intervention class, that may help her. And then the last one I did was her spelling inventory. She definitely, spelling, we know already, is her low point, her weak point. She only got one word right. I accidentally gave her an upper level one. So then the next time we met, I gave her the where is it? I gave her the lower one, and same thing. She only got one word right. So she really struggles with, I think what she struggles with the most is hearing the sounds within a word, breaking it down.
It doesn't connect.
Exactly, it doesn't connect. So that's something that if she, got into an intervention, they would definitely help her with.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
we were like doing it.
Oh yeah. So okay. So for her spelling, for like the for the appropriate level, she was mid to late letter name. So she's still working on letter name correspondence. Okay, so then I worked into the lesson. So what we did was we focused on doing reader's theater, which she's done a little bit in school. And basically what that was is she reads a script. And so we read through it. I read through it once. We read through it together, and that helps to build her fluency, which is something that she struggles with.
You read it, she read it, and then you read it together.
Well, I read it, then we read it together. Then she decided which part she wanted. So then we went and decided. And then she had time in a true reader's theater session. Every day of class, they would work on something. So that's kind of what we did. So this was the first time we did it. She made predictions to see if it was right, which was great. And then the second time we did reader's theater, we did this Sleepy Owl. And so we did the same thing. I read it, we read it together, and then she read it, and she is really good at, like, if she sees an exclamation point, she's going to make sure it's an exclamation. If she sees a question mark, she's going to make sure that she's asking a question. So her inflection is really good, which is great because that'll help with her fluency. And then what we did here was she came up with solutions because the owl is trying to sleep and the sun is too bright. So she came up with, well, there could be a door in the tree, there could be a shadow, there could be a blanket, or there could be a pillow. And the same thing, her ideas are great, but when I asked her to spell, she got door right, but this is supposed to be shadow, this is supposed to be blanket, and this is supposed to be pillow. But if you think about it, she's got her beginning sound.
This is...
Yeah. She's got her beginning sound and her ending sound. And here,
This makes
this
me
one was,
wonder, what is
I'm
going
not
on?
sure if she just wasn't, she just had no idea how shadow is spelled. Because, she's got the S, but I'm not sure what she was trying to come up with something.
No, look at Chattel, shadow.
Yeah.
That's
her
like,
she's
how
thinking of.
That's how she. Wow.
Yeah, but then same thing with pillow. She got the beginning sound and she got the end sound,
Yeah.
but she really struggles with that middle. So that'll be something that you'll have to work, that they'll need to work on.
And what's the best way to work on that?
Just depends on what the interventionist thinks works well. For my suggestions, when I came up there, I said that Emily was most successful when she worked on the scripts. She especially enjoyed adding inflection. She says, what's good about reader's theater is it's not a one and done. It's constantly working on it, and that's something that you'll want to work on her is her oral reading. Just letting her read and find books that are at her level, even if she thinks they're babyish. Let her read them because, especially at home in the comfort of her home. Yeah, let her read stuff that's a little bit that's at her level, even if it's slower than what she's reading at school, so that way she gains her confidence. So she loved the reader's theater. She's still I had to do a successful and not so successful. Where she wasn't as successful was her writing. She does word sorts, like the initial word sorts, very quickly. So she recognizes the beginning sounds, like we were saying. She still has to work on spelling correctly. I didn't want to sit there and circle every word that she got wrong, because that would just deflate her. But because you can definitely see the evidence of dyslexia in her writing, I believe. I said she has not had much intervention when it comes to coping with her dyslexia yet, but I said I believe that if she gets into an intervention program early on in the next school year, she'll make strides in her spelling ability. For modifications, I would definitely recommend that she not be penalized for spelling errors. That should be something from 3rd grade on. I have high schoolers that are not penalized for spelling, so I would also suggest that she not be called on for cold readings. Like, her teacher needs to know that it's not going to help. She's going to be getting it. Yeah, exactly. So the teacher needs to know that, okay, I don't need to call on Emily for a cold read. Maybe one-on-one time, go and check and make sure she's understanding, but don't call on her to do cold reads. For my recommendations, just keep reading. Like you said, like we said, she has the love of it. She wants to like it. I just think she needs to find stuff that is at her level. Once she finds stuff at her level, then she can start working on her fluency and her prosody and getting more comfortable. So I said, just making sure you find time to work with her one-on-one. Like, let her read by herself, but then also find some time just to listen to her reading. Listening to her reading will be the best way to build that confidence and to help so that you know what's going on. So,